Yes, it is happening. It is us. It is Oops All Dragons. I am, once and always, Lisa.
I'm Varun, and this is episode 18.
Part 2 of our Quiet Year playthrough.
Yep.
So, as this is our second session, we're going to play out the second half of the Quiet Year, our fall and winter. Things are going to start getting complicated for our little archipelago community here, as if it isn't already. We've got an ominous, void-like cloud off in the distance. We've overthrown the bourgeoisie.
Yep.
We have made a tenuous alliance with the strangers from the island to which we built a bridge to. We have found a treasure chest. There might be sea monsters.
There's an army running around.
We've got guns.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. Like broad strokes.
That's broad strokes. That's where we got.
If you want more details, listen to the last episode.
Yeah. We've got this weird creature of the ominous cloud who has sent off a boat full of our citizens. So we're down some manpower. And I think with that, I don't recall whose turn we ended on.
Shoot. Let's just go with you.
So
Start fresh.
I'll begin. So once again, we begin by choosing a card from the pile. So I've gotten the 8 of clubs. So someone sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this or why? Or someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? So we don't have any projects running at the moment. All of our projects concluded. So I'm going to say someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond? The efforts of the community being, trying to stay alive.
I think our biggest effort is we created the rules, a constitution or whatever, but I think we still have yet to determine what that is. So maybe that's what's being sabotaged. Like, how is this place going to run?
So I think some little upstart thinks that they can use this sort of nascent constitution as an opportunity to nab some more power and influence in the community. But they are discovered trying to basically write themselves into power.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to give them a name? We already gave a couple names out there.
Yes.
We got Father...
Let's say...
while you're thinking of that, we got Father John Misty, who is sending people into the void. We have Reginald Barker III, who is now dead as head of the bourgeoisie. And now we've got Phineas.
Phineas. Oh, yeah. Phineas Michael Parker.
There you go.
I like that.
We got Phineas Michael Parker, who's being a problem.
Yeah. He's trying to be a sneaky boy. And what is it that we do with him? How does the community respond? I think this is a community that's very, nobody trusts each other. Nobody trusts anybody to, keep this guy sort of, imprisoned. So I think they're kind of rash, given how,
I was gonna say, do we even have a jail system? Like, we created that.
Yeah, we have this sort of, militarized police, but I don't think we have a jail system. I think it's just, ultimate punishment. I think that they take one of the few boats, one of the few little, canoes, not even a boat, that they have, and they send this guy off
They put
just
him.
like adrift.
They put him on the ice floe like in Parks and Rec and just let him go.
Yes.
Oh man, so harsh.
Yeah, that's the kind of community this is. They can't tolerate any amount of like
BS.
yeah.
Oh man. Do we draw a symbol for that?
Yeah.
Just a man on a canoe by himself.
Evil eyebrows.
For those of you looking at the map, it's going to be the green tinted potted plant in the middle of the ocean, right beneath the purple swirl.
Yeah. That's our boy Phineas. He
Okay.
did it bad. He
Did
did
it,
it bad, and he's getting punished.
but yes, we
Um,
need to address this trust issue because things are going to start to get bad here if we don't.
yeah. How can we fix that? Yeah.
Let's figure it out. Give me a card.
Well, first I'm just for the
Oh
second
right,
part of my turn, it's
you
either
do
discover
actions
something
and
new, hold a
right.
discussion, or start a
I
project.
completely forgot about all of that. I'm sorry.
So I'm going to start a discussion. I'm going to present an idea.
Okay.
We have this military police, and it feels like we've only explored like a small part of this archipelago. We should expand our footprint and expand into the rest of the archipelago.
What if we and this is pulling back the curtain a little bit, and this isn't my response. This is just something we talked about. Are we just doing another colonialism?
Oh no. I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you're and if I remember, you're posing a thing, and then I respond, and then you get the
Yeah.
last word, right?
That's only if I ask a question, then I get the last word. Since it was just a statement,
Okay.
you say something and you respond, and then we move on.
Okay, so we want the So you're saying you want the military? Whoever you're representing wants the military to expand our footprint.
Yeah, use this sort of cache of like guns and ammunition that we found.
I think at this point, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of pushback, really, because we've already excised the rich folk. We've gotten rid of them. We've got these folks down south who we don't know what their deal is. Yeah, I'm trying to. I know there would definitely be a voice of, we need to keep our army here in case anybody else tries to do something, but I think that voice would be dwindling. Would be less and less folks just because, this lighthouse is probably looking smaller and smaller with the more people and stuff we're bringing in here. But yeah, that's what I got.
Interesting. So now we pull your card. We've gotten the Ace of Clubs. So the community becomes obsessed with a single project. Which one? Why? Choose one. If there are no projects underway, at a scarcity born of idleness.
Oh, jeez. I guess we have to make a scarcity, right?
Yeah, what would be a scarcity born of idleness?
I guess the two big ones we haven't addressed are like food and disease. I actually no, we addressed there was a disease one. I actually cured it.
Yeah, we had a weird disease.
Yeah.
That we fixed, and then like, this is like a purely fish-based community. They don't they don't eat vegetables. That's why I'm like expanding.
Everyone's gonna have mercury poisoning.
Yeah.
So yes, I think the scarcity is non-fish based food, like vegetables and or meat if we could find animals.
Okay.
Yeah. And my action on the turn, I'm going to start a project, and it's going to be to create. Given this kind of food scarcity, yeah, creating either a program or finding and farming, whatever it might be. No, we'll have to figure that out. Some sort of non fish food source. So we have access to the other people's lands who we haven't given the name to.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a fairly easy jaunt to the west to the place where we exiled all the rich folks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if we want to be farming there because then they might be problems, some more problems. But then if we want to go to the east, we need some sort of way to get there. And right now that's either through the middle island or we have to create another bridge. We have no boats. Ah, fuck. You know what? Let's actually. I want to do a food project just because I think focusing on food would be important, but mobility is a bigger problem because we can't get anywhere. So the project is going to be boats. It's going to be actually, instead of folks, kind of surreptitiously doing it, the entire community is going to be behind it and find a way to get us around quicker because we need to do colonialism or start planting food or whatever.
It's only a colonialism if there's people already there.
Yes. So let's see. Let's see how this goes.
Boat. Boat.
Boat Mark
Boat.
II.
Boat. Part 2.
Yes. This is the yellow boat with the 2 on it.
And I will put a thing.
I was going to say...
How many weeks do you think this project's going to take? It could take up to 6 weeks.
I was going to say the max was 6. I was going to say, since let's say the community's actually focusing on this because it's become an issue of mobility, I say 2?
3.
Yeah, I was in that 2-3 range.
All right.
Yeah.
So 3 weeks. All right. So you have drawn your cards. You've started a project.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have the Queen of Clubs. Disease spreads through the community.
Oh my
Choose
God.
one. You spend the week quarantining and treating the disease. Project dice are not reduced this week. Nobody knows what to do about it. Add health and fertility as a scarcity.
Oh my God.
Well, given that this community has already dealt with a little bit of a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
as it were, it's gonna be the quarantining and project dice are not reduced, so your boat project's on hold continues to stay at 3 weeks. This week was a bust for the boat project.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's inside.
I would like let's discover something new.
Okay.
So inside of the lighthouse, while everybody's quarantining, people are sort of running around. There was a kid that found the large container of guns.
Yep.
And in the continued exploration of some of the more unused passages in the base of this lighthouse tower, a sort of a library. Because one of the things that we haven't really touched on, this game also asks, is if this is a community made up of several communities, of what used to be several communities, they would be the issue of whose culture and what part of everybody's culture we're preserving.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's books. There's a hot pink sort of square thing in the middle here, and that's books. So we've discovered books.
Okay. So I think culture-wise, we're definitely not preserving the rich people culture. They can go off and do whatever they want to do elsewhere. But I think we have to address what's going on with those other folks down there, and then what does our community stand for? So if we have books, do we focus on education?
Well, depends on the kind of books. So, it doesn't need a lot of discussion. It's just a matter of It's just, these are some books.
Are these all
They
like
belonged.
are these all like maritime repair manuals?
Uh, yeah, probably like maritime repair manuals, like lighthouse care tips, and probably like dirty books.
Did they all just belong to this one man who just collected them all?
Yeah, and then in and among there are some sort of vestiges of like whatever community and society used to exist around this place and are the ones who like built this lighthouse. That the current community just found this as a shelter during this sort of like apocalyptic scenario that they're finding themselves in.
Okay.
Okay, and then we've got
Yes.
for you
Mm-hmm.
the three of clubs. Someone leaves the community after issuing a dire warning. Who and what is the warning? Or someone issues a dire warning and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? Start a contentious
Ooh.
project that relates to it.
Ooh. Ooh. I think like the father he
Father John
seems
Misty?
he seems like the one who's gonna leave with some sort of dire warning. Um, I know we established that he really likes the void. Um,
Yeah, he's sort of a representative of the. He's the like Avon lady of the void.
yeah. I think the dire warning is that if people stay in the lighthouse, then everyone's gonna die. The lighthouse is gonna crumble, and then
He's just
he
sort of like, not enough of you followed me on Twitter, so you're all gonna perish.
But yeah, and then he would just move elsewhere, I guess, right?
Yeah, he's gonna go start trying to preach to the new folk.
Oh, he's crossing the bridge. So yeah, dire warning. If we stay in the lighthouse, we're all gonna die.
So, do we start a project to.
Do all the projects tick down first and then I take my action, or
Uh, yeah. Yeah.
oh, okay. So we got 2 weeks
The
left on
one
the boat.
project.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, like we're already starting a project to expand out from the lighthouse. So we're gonna have boats and hopefully gonna be able to get more stable footing on this hopefully uninhabited third island we're dealing with. Um, so I think that's being addressed. Um, I think it would
Would you
be
say that they're starting to prepare to, instead of just expand out, they're preparing to fully move out of the lighthouse?
I don't know fully move yet, but I think given the timeline we're on, I think some folks are. They've been here for over half a year. They're getting cooped up. Yeah, so I guess it would be. I guess it would be a discussion, and it's not even a question. Yeah, it's the statement that what, like probably a third of the community wants to move out. They don't know what's on this new island, but they don't care. It's not an issue of it may be an issue of trust, but it's also an issue of space. Everyone's been cooped up too long. This was meant to be a temporary thing, and they want to start settling elsewhere. So that's the statement.
Okay. Yeah, I think part of the community would retort with, the lighthouse is a stronghold. I don't believe the nonsense that man in the
Mm-hmm.
funky hat was spewing. I say we we expand out, but let's not give up on the lighthouse.
Okay. All right,
So
and
we've got
that's my turn.
we've got the 6 of clubs, and this is our last card for the fall,
Mm-hmm.
for the autumn. Introduce a dark mystery among the members of the community, or conflicts flare up among community members, and as a result, a project fails.
Oh, damn
Ooh,
it.
I like the dark mystery. What's a good dark mystery among members of the community? What's something new, something different? What have we not? What's a twist we haven't added yet? There's a lot going on here.
Can the dark mystery be something that's also potentially good?
Yeah, but why?
A child born with some sort of like birthmark or born under some sort of interesting circumstances that some folks take as like a dark omen, but then other folks are like, no, this is a good thing. We have children. We have new life. Or like the go to for like a dark mystery is like murder, but who did it?
Murder. Honestly, I was going more for. There's a pause for please.
Let's pause that.
Woo! Los Angeles. Woo! Great place. That's constant. Oh well. Okay. So here's where my brain immediately goes. It's a little bit Stranger Things, but like season 1, because I didn't get past that. But stay with me here. So group of kids. It's always a group of kids. Who like when unsupervised, they like to run down the bridge, but they don't go all the way. There's a point, like sort of part way, where they can see this shipwreck sticking out of the water. So they've been going in there and like playing on this sort of half-beached shipwreck, and they've been interacting with some unnatural creatures that they don't have any context
Ooh.
to like be scared of it. So they've been like playing with it like it's just like a dog. But at one point, like an adult goes with them to see what they're up to, and sees them essentially like playing with a sea monster.
Oh, we're bringing in the sea monsters again.
Listen, I'm gonna change this question mark over the sea monster to an exclamation point. I really want the sea monsters, okay?
Okay.
Don't fight me on this.
So, dark mystery. Like what? Now that they are confirmed, what the hell are the sea monsters?
Yeah. Like, are they dangerous? Are the is the is do they pose any sort of threat to the community, or can they be like used, like not used, but can they be exploited?
Yeah. All right. And then the project ticks down one more, right?
Yes. So next week we'll have boats.
Cool. All right. So that's the end of autumn.
That is the end of autumn, and now the winds chill, and we are into winter. So tell me, you've got the 3 of spades. Someone comes up with an ingenious solution to a big problem, and as a result, the project finishes early. What was their idea? Or someone comes up with a plan to ensure safety and comfort during the coldest months. Start a project related to this.
Second one, because our project's going to finish this month, this week
Yeah.
anyway. So a project for safety and comfort during the coldest months. Ooh. like, uh, yeah, I guess it's got, because the folks who want to use the boats and explore out more, they have no idea what they're going to see. So they could find really habitable land, or it could be a wasteland. They're not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
So so it's got to be something around the lighthouse or this area, or also involving the other people.
Well, since this is the week that the boats get finished out, I
Mm-hmm.
think that it would be fine to say that like they can take the boats somewhere and start stuff on the other island.
I'm thinking the lighthouse is like a fallback position in case that doesn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
But how would they make it like more secure and comfortable? Hmm, 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 hmm. I think I don't know. I don't know if we've actually established if they have like electricity and all that stuff. So
I
let's.
don't think they do. No.
I was gonna say. So let's do that. There is a generator. Yeah, I think at least for this winter, there's a generator in the lighthouse that no one's been able to get working. So the more mechanic engineering focused of the community, they're going to focus on getting that up. So the lighthouse will have electricity. They can have heat. Uh, they can just live better.
Okay. I will draw a little lightning bolt
Yep, I was
for
gonna say lightning bolt.
electricity. There you go.
Yeah, they have to work on getting fuel. They have to work on making sure the parts, aren't
So
corroded
that's
in
a
the thing.
project.
Oh yeah.
How many weeks do you think that's gonna take?
Because we're on a truncated timeline, let's just say 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because depending on what card you draw, it could even not get done based on that.
Yeah. So we're in the point of the game where the minute that the King of Spades is drawn, the game is over. The Frost Shepherds arrive, and we don't know what the Frost Shepherds are. We just know that they're coming, and this whole year has been in sort of preparation and anticipation for either surviving or not surviving the encounter with the Frost Shepherds.
Mm-hmm.
So, so yeah, so
Lightning
you,
bolt. So that was the card, right?
yeah. So you started a project. I think that like when the card tells you to start a project, I don't think you end up taking an action.
Okay.
That might be incorrect. Yeah, let's just call it that. Alright. The Ten of Spades. In preparation for the coming year, the community begins a huge undertaking. Start a project that will take at least 5 weeks to complete. Oh boy. Okay.
That's it. That's the whole card.
Yeah.
Okay. Build another bridge.
And yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? No, that's dumb. We have the
So
boats.
so now that we have access to this part of the map,
Make a colony.
yeah, it's gonna be starting a sort of more permanent housing situation.
Lighthouse Mark II.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a high rise.
A high rise with a big light on top of it.
Yeah.
Lakeside.
Wah, 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 wah,
Lakeside,
wah.
apparently.
Yeah, communities usually. No, I don't like that. Communities usually end up being built around sources of water,
Mm-hmm.
fresh water specifically.
Yeah.
That's just how that works. And I imagine that like the land around immediately around this lake is probably more arable
Mm-hmm.
than the rest of this. So I'm gonna say, yeah, we're gonna build a bunch of little houses. And yeah, that's going to take at least 5 weeks. Because this is going to be stockpiling material and
Transporting it
and
and
transporting
all of
it and
that.
doing the
Yeah.
actual labor and possibly contracting our friends from the center here. We have this coliseum that we never
Yeah. We never really addressed.
addressed. It's just there.
Yeah, they just have a coliseum. We just let them do their own thing.
Yeah. So that's 5 weeks, and our power project ticks down to 1 week. No. Oh man, I almost cleared all of the drawings. That was scary. All right. And since I started a project, that is my turn. So you've got. Tell us what happens with the 9 of spades. Someone goes missing. They're alone in the winter elements. Choose one. The community organizes constant search parties, and eventually the person is found. Project dice are not reduced this week. No one ever hears from that person again.
Those are the two options.
Those are the options.
Oh my god.
Someone goes missing. They're alone in the winter. Either we look for them or we don't.
Oh shit. You know what? Given that we're expanding out and trust is a scarcity, I think someone comes up, and I think there's the impetus of like just forget him. We need to get the power on. We need to get everything in place because winter's coming and things are going to get really harsh here. But I think someone within the community is able to give a speech, talk to everyone, and say that if we don't go out and find this person who's missing, what's the point of all of this? We need to stick together. Do we want to give this person a name?
The person trying to build trust?
Yes.
Yes. Let's say it's a community organizer named.
I want to make it a lady.
Yeah, like Margaret Johnson. I don't know why John is always the name that I'm
It's just your go-to.
I don't know. It's a real basic name.
Doris. I was going for the name Doris. I like the name Doris.
Doris.
Sex Bang. Just because I'm looking at my Ninja Sex Party poster.
Alright, Doris Sexman says, hey y'all, we should try to be like a community or whatever. Everyone's like, I guess. Alright. So that means that power is not completed this week where it should have been.
Yeah.
And our housing project will take another week.
Mm-hmm.
If I can. There we go. Right.
And
Would
then
you like to start a discussion or start another project or discover something? We do have this whole new land here to discover things in.
I want to discover something that would improve our trust as a community. What would that be? You know what? Just I don't know if we can do the trust thing, but the food thing. Given where the land is, they discover like farmland, or at least farmable land. Land that can be used to grow food that's not fish.
Yeah, would you say that there's already sort of edible things available, or is it just like...
Sure. Given what we're working with, maybe I'm looking at like. So we've got an oil rig, we've got a lighthouse, we got caves. They find like an abandoned like corporate farm. So it used to be like this big place that just kind of like churned out, tons of food to sell, but because of disaster, it's been abandoned. So it's in a bit of disrepair, but it's got whatever was there before that hasn't, rotted away. And the crops themselves are just like overgrown. So it's just like corn and wheat and like soy and a lot of like basic stuff that would be used for other stuff. Just overgrowing.
Motherfucker, let
So
me tell you about corn.
so it needs to be like tended.
Alright, there's this yellow blob here that I was trying to make look like corn.
Yeah, it looks like corn. Sure, is the corn next to the 3 or 5 green squares? There you
Yeah.
go. That's definitely corn.
And there's this sort of like gray grid that's supposed to be the actual like farmland.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes. So that's is that a project or is that discover something new?
Discover something new. So they find a big old overgrown farm that needs to be like fixed up.
Okay. All right. We've got the 2 of spades. A headstrong community member takes charge of the community's work efforts. A project fails, and then a different project finishes early.
Damn.
Well, we've got to. Or now, a headstrong community member tries to take control of the community. How are they prevented from doing this? Due to the conflict, project dice are not reduced this week. Damn. Damn.
Winter's just all bad.
Yeah, and like people are being real pissy. Okay, so let's say this. The person who discovered this farmland immediately starts to try to do a landlord and is just like, well, I found this, so you all have to like you all owe me for, taking the food from here and like using this farmland. This is mine. I'm going to be in charge of this. And immediately everyone is like, "No, actually, heck off.
No, sir.
We outnumber you. You're not going to tell us what to do with this land. Like, it's not like you can farm this land on your own. Like, you're gonna need us.
Maybe
We don't
it's.
need you."
I was gonna say maybe it's not just one guy. Maybe it's a guy with some goons
With like a posse.
with a posse.
Yeah. So how do we deal with a guy and some goons? The community can't really afford to like exile him in the way that we've exiled others. They put this guy to work. So him and his goons are like under the supervision of the police, the military police. They are put to work on the farm, like collecting as much of the food as they can before the winter chill ruins whatever has grown.
Okay. But so that's the resolution.
Yeah,
the dice don't go down this week because
the
of
dice
that.
don't go down. No.
Okay.
And I think that's the project I'll start, is trying to as quickly as possible collect and preserve all of the, as much as they can, of what's growing here for the rest of the winter.
Okay. You just want to
And
put a counter next to the corn.
Yeah, I'll say a week for that.
Sure.
If the whole community is focused on that.
Okay.
And, with the housing project taking longer than we expected and our electricity and power still not up in the lighthouse stronghold, and now with this project of trying to stockpile food, the frost shepherds arrive. The game ends. So where does that leave us?
How does this work? Yeah, how does the end game work?
Um,
Do we just talk it out, or are
so
there any mechanics behind it?
during the play, it's best to leave the Frost Shepherds an elusive mystery, perhaps hinting at what they are but never giving direct answer. The game ends abruptly when the King of Spades is drawn. The card is read aloud, and the game immediately concludes. Once the game is over, it's fine to share theories who are what were the Frost Shepherds, what did their arrival mean for the community. Not that the game is over, you can wonder.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just sort of like an abrupt sort of like
Okay. So
whatever.
So what's on the card? Did you?
Yeah, no, it just says the Frost Shepherds arrive.
Oh, that's it. Oh
yeah.
shit. That is abrupt. Oh boy.
Yeah. So the game is over, but we can speculate on what the community does with what they've had. I think because this community is so like fraught and divided, I don't think they make it through the winter. Whatever the well, what do you think like the Frost Shepherds are? What do you think like the sort of
Like my first instinct is to think of the Frost Shepherds as like the Celestials from Marvel Comics in general, where they've seeded life on Earth, and then they're just gonna check up on us at some point in the future to see how we're doing, and if we're worthy to continue living, we get to live. But if we're not, if we're a dead end, then we don't. In this, yeah, and I think of the Frost Shepherds as something akin to that. We've already established there's some supernatural stuff going on here. Sea monsters, avoid. So I think I don't know. They were pretty close on a lot of the stuff. The electricity, the food. I think survivability wise, yeah, I think they would survive, but I think the Frost Shepherds would have issue with the lack of trust going on here.
So they're not just the sort of like omen of death per se. They're sort of this contingency, or
Yeah.
the sort of group of beings who sort of started a pet project and are now like checking in on it. Yeah, the war with the jackals. That was sort of the. Yeah, no, I think that's a interesting concept, and also, it would force the community to reckon with their sort of. Erratic behavior.
Yeah.
Because I think like whoever these people are that created this community, they were in no way equipped to build a community that survived and could sustain itself, just given like yes the lack of trust and also just sort of the disjointed nature of what they thought was necessary. Which I would even I'll admit it's my own fault. I don't know what it takes to build a community, but
like, you know, I have my ideas on how we would start, but it's just given like every turn we get some kind of like wrinkle of like BS happening.
yeah,
And which, you know, happens.
Life. Yeah.
Which
Which is kind of the name of the game. It's not necessarily to succeed or to fail. It's to we're not playing as the community. We are throwing problems at them and imagining how they would resolve or solve or not resolve
I think
issues.
I think one thing we as players should have done a little earlier is establish like a leader, like an actual leader or leaders. Because we established a bunch of problem people like the father and Reginald Barker, but they're, you know, no one's
there
gonna.
were no community leaders.
Yeah, that sort of thing. We finally got one in Dora Sexbang, but in the very last quarter here. And that, you know, if she was introduced earlier, then we could have done more stuff with her, or you know, her group or whatever.
Yeah, of whether people followed her and respected her,
Yeah.
or stuff like that.
Yeah, because we had a lot of bad, but we didn't have anyone really pushing up against that.
Yeah. Man, chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Chaotic. This game, I can absolutely see how it would be a fun way to, like, because, like, the idea of it is, like, yes, it's a game on its own, but it also would be interesting to, replace some of the, like, built-in lore and use this as a way to communally build a campaign setting
Mm-hmm.
for another role playing game
Mm-hmm.
as a sort of preamble. I think that's a really clever use of this game, which blah 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 Adventure Zone we know. um, but yeah, like this would be an interesting point to like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so your your party are like members of this community and this is the sort of the world that you live in
Yeah.
and there are plenty of things here that a party of intrepid adventurers could attempt to aid with or resolve or make worse
Yeah, and
or
and
fuck off entirely.
I was gonna say, and that's for like a group setting creation. Once you started actually playing in it, you wouldn't have to do too much lore building yourself as the dungeon master or whatever, because everyone would already, know.
Have an awareness, yeah.
Yeah, they would already know what all the things are, what the environment, what the location is. So each
Yeah,
player would
and
probably have their own things of like, I want to do this, I want to do this, but it would help them like expand on that.
yeah, and it would absolutely help them be more invested,
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like they've actively contributed to the building of this.
Yeah, they help
Uh,
build it. That would be an interesting to try out one time. Now that I'm thinking
yeah,
about it, these Taz boys are they're a little.
they've got some
They got
ideas.
some
They've got some thoughts.
ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like really, shout out to the people who designed this game because it's very interestingly designed. Um, uh, yes, it is playable between two people,
Mm-hmm.
but I can definitely see how this would be more interesting and maybe more chaotic.
Definitely more
With
chaotic.
like up to 4 players, um, and I think like something that is key to this is not over discussing
Yeah. Yeah.
the choices. It's like this is what it is, and that's why there's the contempt token mechanic,
We didn't do any of that.
which we didn't really do, because that is a mechanic of like somebody has made a choice that I don't like, and I don't feel like I was included in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a point of contempt, and
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting thought because like that is how real communities work too. Is that like not everybody's gonna always agree on
Mm-hmm.
every choice the community makes.
And from the world building idea, leaving things undiscussed lets lets that be explored by the players once it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of set up at the end.
Mm-hmm. And I think that definitely plays into the idea of it. It should be a much longer game. It should be 52 cards for 52
Mm-hmm.
weeks. So you're supposed to make sort of quicker decisions.
Yeah. Really, really, really test your improv skills.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, you can go tonally in a lot of different directions. You can keep it
Yeah.
very grounded in reality. You can go very fantastical with it. And yeah, if you want to hear people do this maybe in a little bit more of a coherent way than we did, check out the Adventure Zone Ether Sea prologue. Yeah, that's what it was. It was basically the prologue to their current campaign, where they play through a game of the Quiet Year to
Mm-hmm.
build up sort of the the community.
Yeah, but I'm guessing they had more than 2 people and they had more
they have
time.
4 people. They have 4 people, and they did it over, I think, 4 sessions. So each session was a season.
This was our dipping our toe into the.
Yeah, this is just our test run.
Yeah.
You know, things if you want to hear people do it, and they did it with like their.
I'm not linking out to them in the show notes.
No, you can find them. They're not paying me. I just like them.
Yeah. You can find them.
Yeah, no, the McElroy family of products is not difficult to find on Jeff Bezos' internet. So, on Al Gore's internet, I think that I'd absolutely. This is something I'm going to keep in my back pocket, and for my
same.
the next time I go to run a game, this is absolutely going to make world building a little bit easier because I think the sperm method definitely has a place in sort of like the background of this, but this because the questions that the cards ask, like
this is even before that, because sperm method always talks about all the details in this world, and if you know them, great, you're already able to get them down. But if you don't even have the foundation yet, this is a good place to start.
Right, but like the things that the sperm method asks you to establish, this sort of by the nature of it and like as it goes along, it sort of organically answers those questions as things develop.
You can probably use them in conjunction. Like if you're doing it as a campaign setting exercise, have those 5 points up, and then by the end, if you haven't answered those, then you're like, okay, we need to focus on a couple other things here.
Yeah, we need to answer some questions.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
No. I am almost certainly going to use this as well for some other setting, either small or big, but it's an interesting idea. I'm definitely going to take advantage of it at some point.
I think with that, thank you so much, everybody.
Yes.
We've sat through another half of a quiet year. If there are any other games you want us to talk about, to look into, let us know. We're always looking for suggestions, for ideas. And I think with that, it's a goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Oops All Dragons is a group effort. Our show is edited by Noel Hernandez. Our theme was composed by Brendan Lyons. And our logo art is by Azif On Q. Links to more of their work and their social media will be in the